Hello, yes, and welcome to another episode of MLS Ireland. Well, I'll be doing my predictions for this week's up-and-coming MLS games, which I believe is week 24. Last week was 20. Oh, yeah, 20. Yeah. Thank you very much for joining me. Yes, my name is Sean, and this is my predictions. If you're new to this, hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. I'm stuck on 222, if that helps. My prediction last week was kind of done on Twitch just because there wasn't that many games on it, and I want to put a wee bit more content on it. I will be doing this midweek's games on Twitch, so head over there. The thing will be in the URL will be in the description below. You know what I mean. So last week I started off quite badly. Did okay, and then it kind of lingered into I got the results right, but got the results right with my scoreline and didn't get all that great. So I may as well crack on into this one because there was a lot of players off in international leave. They're all back now, so hopefully games will be continuing as normal and players will have a bit of normality back and going again. So the first game, which is going to be an old rivalry, very old. Goes back in time to 3 or 4 years ago. Atlanta against Orlando. Now these two teams, as I said, are kind of a rivalry, and these two teams don't really necessarily. Well, the fans don't really like each other. I don't, because a lot of players actually play for both sides. But then we'll gloss over that. Coming into this one, Atlanta probably have the better running of form coming into this, which you would think was a bit surprising. The way they're playing at the moment, they are 17th in the league. In the last 8, they've lost 1 and drew 1 and then 1-4, and doing not too badly. Now, whereas Orlando haven't won that many games. They haven't won any away from home in the last 4. So coming into this one, Atlanta probably have the better form coming into this one, so I'm going to go for like a 1-1 draw. Just for the fact is, the two teams can cancel each other out. It is kind of like a derby. There's going to be a lot of tackling, a lot of yellow cards and all that kind of stuff into it. So I don't see this one going to be an open game. I think it's going to be a lot of stop-start, and when two teams are kind of just going to get like a 1-1 draw. So yeah, 1-1 for that one. The next one is another Cascadia derby kind of thing, which is Vancouver against Portland Timbers. Now this one game is a tricky one. Portland Timbers are capable of beating anybody on their day, which we have found out to our surprise. They've won their last 2. They beat Seattle. I know who would have saw that. Where was it again? Yep, they beat Seattle away from home, and they beat Houston Dynamo away from home. So coming into a Vancouver team away from home, you can kind of see them coming into this one with a bit more form. But I think Vancouver have a better record at home. They're in the last 4, they've only drew the 1, whereas away from home Portland drew 1, lost 1, then drew 1-2. So coming into this one, Vancouver have the better record. These two teams will score a lot of goals. So coming into this one, I think Vancouver probably have the edge on this one. I'll go for like a 2-1 win to Vancouver. I know these two teams are kind of linked. Well, Portland's 14th and Vancouver's 15th. So, and in the last 6, Vancouver haven't lost a game. So they have the better form coming into this one. Portland are a strange team, and they have a good record away from home. But anyway, I'll gloss over that at the moment because I'll go for Vancouver. The next one is Colorado Rapids against LA Galaxy. Now, these two teams used to be the big dogs in the league, and then other teams started to come into it, and then LA Galaxy kind of dropped, and Colorado was basically gone. They would have been relegated into League 2 if they had relegation. But anyway, I'll gloss over that. Probably with LA Galaxy probably would have been 2 when I think of. Anyway, I'll gloss over that as well. So coming into this one, I think Colorado probably at home have a better record. LA Galaxy starting the wheels are starting not to fall off, but they're not playing all that great. Whereas Colorado are 3rd in the league, and I'm probably going to go form in the last 4. They drew 2 and won 2, so I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Colorado Rapids. Just for the fact is as I said, they have a better form record. I think LA Galaxy have kind of hit their peak at the start of the season. They will get games going again soon enough when it comes into the playoff picture. They need to get into it. But I think this game is probably going to be a 2-1 win for Colorado. The next one is Seattle Sounders now against Minnesota. Now, Seattle Sounders are actually a bit strange this season. They started off fantastically. Now they're coming up against, then they got beat by Portland, but they beat Columbus Crew, Dallas, and Portland away from home. You know, and I see a little bit last week when I said Portland are going to get beat by Seattle, but they beat them, even though a couple of weeks ago 6-2 Seattle in Portland won. But anyway, it's fun. Oh, this is all fun. So yeah, Minnesota. I think it's going to be a Seattle win, 1-0. 1-0. Obviously, I think Seattle at home, even though that they have a horrible record in the last 4, they're not scoring many goals. But I think they're going to get this one over the line, so I'm going to go for like a 1-0. The next one is New England playing New York City FC again. They only played last week, and that was a New York City win. But I believe that was in New York City. I think or Red Bull Arena, one of the two. Could have been in New Jersey. They won 2-0. This one, even though they only played about a month or 2 months ago as well, and that kind of ended in a New England win in New England. So I'm going to try to take that one into consideration. I know New England had a couple of players away, like their goalkeeper, on international level. So I'm going to go for like a 2-1 win to New England, just for the fact that they're at top for the reason, and New York City are 8th. And New England aren't really known for losing away from home. I think they've lost 1 or 2 away from home, which is pretty spectacular, whereas New York City haven't in the last 4. So yeah, I'll stick with that. The next one is, did I say 2-1? Yeah, I thought I said 2-1. The next one is New York Red Bulls against DC United. Now this one could have been a trickier one. I know these two have a bit of a rivalry as well. So coming into this, I kind of went for, New York Red Bull are better at home. DC United are probably finding their feet away from home. Like DC United beat Philadelphia on the 29th, which was about last week, and that was a pretty good result. Now they're coming up against New York Red Bull, who did you have a bit of a squiffy with. Squiffy. I said squiffy. New York Red Bulls are 23rd. So I'll go for a 1-1 draw. Yes, exciting, isn't it? It's going to be an exciting game, I believe. So I'll go for like a 1-1, just the two teams. This one was actually a trickier one because I couldn't really. It was a toss of a coin is the firm. You know what I mean. The next one is Montreal against Nashville. Now, Nashville away from home. I think they've only won the 1 game, and that was their last game away from home, and that was against Atlanta, and that was a 2-0 win. And then they beat New York City 3-1, so they're kind of coming into a bit of a form. In the last 4, they've only drew the 1, that was against Orlando, and that was a 1-0. So they're starting to score goals, which is pretty impressive. And now they're coming up against the Montreal team, who are better at home than I could say as Nashville are away from home. But I think I'm actually going to go for a trickier one. I think I'm going to go for like a Nashville 2, Montreal 1. Just for the fact is, I think Nashville are a better team. They have a better defense, and I think now they're starting to score goals. They may actually nick this one. So yeah, 2-1. The next one is FC Cincinnati against Toronto. Now, these two teams are second from bottom, and probably for a reason. These two teams haven't won a game in the last 6, so that's not good. Home and away, Cincinnati haven't won a game at all, and Toronto in the last 4 haven't won a game away in the last 4. So this one's going to be a tricky one. So I think I'll go for like a 1-0. I think these two teams it will be a draw. I don't see these two teams really. I think these two teams have basically packed it in. They know they're not getting anywhere. I think FC Cincinnati are probably going to try and get into this game a wee bit more, just because they're at home. They have this magnificent stadium and they have good players, but I think they're kind of trying to get momentum for next season so they can bring in more cash revenue for fucking fans. But that, you know what I mean. And I don't think Toronto are really going to be too much into it, even though I think Toronto are a better team. So I do think they'll get a goal where I think the FC Cincinnati will probably get their fans behind them and get that one goal to equalise. So yeah, 1-0. The next one is Inter Miami against Columbus Crew. Now here's a wee little interesting fact. In the last 4 games, Inter Miami at home haven't lost a game. They've actually won them. So that's pretty impressive. Whereas Columbus Crew in the last 4 away from home have lost them. I know, you wouldn't have said that a couple of weeks ago. Really? Well, no, Columbus Crew have been poor. Okay, like last year. Inter Miami at home. Just for the fact is, Columbus Crew are kind of not in great form at the moment, and Inter Miami are in better form. I went for a 2-1 win to Inter. Just for the fact is they have form behind them. I don't like. It is a trickier one. I think Inter Miami have the better players, and for some reason I don't know what happened to Columbus Crew. They kind of fell off a cliff. But anyway, I digress. The next one is FC Dallas against San Jose Earthquakes. Now, where is DC United? They always surprise me. They're 21st in the league and they're not doing all that great. They got beaten by Real Salt Lake and then beat Austin away from home. So now they're coming up against the San Jose Earthquakes, who I think are actually, they're 19th in the league and they've only won the 2 to beat the 2 LA teams. Interesting. I'll go for an FC Dallas win on this one. And these 2 teams are kind of evenly matched home and away. So I think FC Dallas could probably nick this one. So I went for like a 2-0 win. I'll go for that. The next one is Houston against Austin. Now this one, Austin should probably win this one. Just for the fact is they're better than Houston. Even though they're only 1 place ahead of them. But in the last 6, Austin's actually won a game, whereas Houston lost. Or drew a game, sorry. But they kind of have. In the last 4, they haven't won a game home nor away. So I went for like a 1-1 draw. These 2 teams, I think Austin probably a bit naive coming into this one, whereas Houston are just not good. So that's kind of my thinking in this one. I don't see this game going to be an exciting one. So sorry about that one. The second last one is Sporting Kansas City against Chicago. Now Chicago are starting to find their feet, whereas Sporting Kansas City kind of lost their way as of late. Like in the last 4, Sporting Kansas City haven't won a game at home, whereas Chicago Fire actually won a game away from home, and that was against New York Red Bull. Now I do think Sporting Kansas City are the better team, whereas I think they're going to win 2-0. This one could probably shock you, is for the fact is Chicago Fire can be annoying and beat any team on their day, if that makes any sense. They could probably, well, not beat anybody, but they can surprise them. But this one away from home, I don't see them getting a good result in this one. Sporting Kansas City are still a very good team, so I'm going to go for like a 2-0. And then the last one is LAFC against Real Salt Lake. Again, LAFC haven't been great this season. They've already sold Diego Rossi, which I thought was a complete and utter nonsense thing to do, but he probably wanted to go because they're being useless at the moment. Real Salt Lake now are mid-table, 12th. They haven't won a game in the last 4 away from home, whereas LAFC have won their last home game and then haven't won in the last 3. So it could possibly go for an LAFC win, but I think for the fact that they sold Rossi, I don't think they're going to win this one. So I went for like a 1-0. It is going to be a bit of a poor season at the moment because a lot of players have kind of left. A lot of players went on international break and kind of fucked the whole thing up. But that shit happens. So anyway, those are my predictions. Hope you enjoyed them. And if you're new to this, as I said, hit the subscribe button. Watch me on Twitch. Go over there and follow me. Hit that. I think there's a wee bell button. I don't know. But anyway, I digress. So go over there, hit that, and I'll see you on Tuesday, I believe. Yeah, Tuesday. So I'll see you then. Toodaloo. Bye now.